My neighbor came by and he's having trouble starting this Arian's mower for the season. And he said it ran fine last year. He took the gas out and drained it and went to go restart it and wouldn't start. So I told him I'd take a look at it. So I put my spark plug tester on it. And he put a new spark plug in, but he's not getting any spark according to the test light. So I suspect it has something to do with the wiring down here, you know, for the cutoff. Maybe it's grounding the coil out or something like that. And that's based on me watching other YouTube videos. So I'm going to take the covers off, trace some of the wires, get to the coil, take the wire off and see if I can get some spark. So I'm trying to trace the wires, and what I'm seeing is, so it looks like some rodent activity. Probably some mice got in there, and I'm guessing they chewed the wire and it's grounding out. But I won't know until I take this cover off here, which looks like about 5 bolts. Got to move the gas tank out of the way, disconnect the linkage. So it's a little bit of, you know, project to take that part off, but I'll get it done. So I'll just do that right now. So I got the cover off. Take a look, see what I could find. Definitely a lot of rodent activity in there. A whole nest. I'll pull that out first. Clean that out. Yeah, it's quite the mouse nest in there. So that I just got to find that coil wire next and see where it disconnects or connects and test this thing. So now that I've got this mouse nest vacuumed out best I could, I'm looking down there and I'm seeing the wire. You follow the tip of my pliers. That's the wire that connects to the coil. Now what I saw in the troubleshooting videos, if I disconnect that, I'm ungrounding the coil. I'm ungrounding the coil, and I should get spark. And then if I'll put this back together now with that disconnected, give it a few pulls. Hopefully I get spark, and that proves that it's in this wiring somewhere that I have an issue, that I'm getting grounded out, and then I can troubleshoot that. So let me go to that next. Now it looks like it's not going to be a simple fix, because I've disconnected the coil wire, put it all back together. I gave it a couple pulls and still not getting any light indicating spark. So that could be the coil, I guess. Magneto, points. Getting kind of out of my range of expertise, so I'm going to go watch a YouTube video and see what else I can learn. So it's taking a turn for the worse. If you take a look at that spark plug wire, you see it's damaged. See right there. It would probably still throw spark if I wrap some insulation around it, but it's still not sparking. And that leads me, because I disconnected the coil wire, the grounding wire, and spinning it and still not getting spark, it tells me it's the coil. Now, the guys on the internet that I see, the coil's on the outside of the flywheel. This one seems to sit behind the flywheel or inside the flywheel. So I took that cap off, and it looks like I need a puller to get that flywheel off. I'm going to go check another YouTube video out now that I know this is, I think, an H70 motor. See what I can find out. So you see I got the snowblower back up on the stand and it's all back together. I talked to my neighbor. What we decided to do is I'm going to try to replace the coil, the points, and the condenser. I did some research on YouTube, and to get the flywheel off, it looks really simple. Just got to put a screwdriver behind it and hit it with a hammer. So we're going to try that. And then I'm also still looking for it, but I haven't been able to find it. You can convert these things to solid state and eliminate the points in the condenser with a new electronic module. So I'm going to take this apart again and we'll go from there. It took a couple days, but I got this from Amazon for $21. It's a coil, a condenser, and a set of points. Now I just got to put the snowblower back on the lift and get it set up and see about changing everything out and getting this thing going. All right, so I got the snowblower up on the lift now. Set the tripod right there, and I'm looking at the points cover and the coil. And I watched a whole lot of videos in the 2 days that I had to figure out how to do this right. And, you know, the easiest thing is probably just to pop off the coil and leave the points alone. But logic dictates I should probably at least change the condenser. And not that I can't change the points, but now I'm rethinking about changing them. So let me just get started and see if I can actually change that coil without taking anything else apart. That would be an interesting thing to do. Probably the wrong thing to do. Anyways, I'll take that cover off anyways. There's the points. They look okay to me, but what do I know? The condenser is right there. It's attached here. And I'll tell you how much I watched this. I remember it's an 11/32 nut that takes this off. So there's a lot of good videos on the internet on how to do this. So if you're watching me to figure out how to do it, there's probably 10 other guys who do it a lot better. And I'm just riding their coattails. That's the knob for the shutoff. There's the condenser. There's a washer, cupped washer. Remember that faces in. Then there's one's a coil, one's a condenser. And you're going to twist the wires together when they go back together. So there's the coil. This one's a coil. This one's a condenser. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can still see. There's the wrong size screwdriver. And I just realized I'm standing in the light. This light over. That's well lit. So to get the condenser off, looks like yep, that there. You guys might not hear me talking through this. I might speed this up when I edit this, keep it short. Apparently the long videos have not been doing very good for anyone lately. Everybody watches shorts on YouTube these days, from what I'm hearing from some of the other content providers. So I guess that comes all the way out. Yep, and and there's the other wire for the coil. So to get the condenser, well, the new condenser comes with that piece. So it goes back in just like that. Okay. So that's got to come out anyways because the coil comes out. So let me just set this aside with the screw. See what I can do to get that coil off. Now, I'm going to see if I can get this coil off without taking this entire assembly off and reuse the same old points. But I definitely want to use a new condenser. Let's see, I need a screwdriver under here to pry that off. And I think the screwdriver I have is probably a little big for that. So I'm going to walk across the garage and get the other one. Stand by. So I moved the camera too, put a little better angle on that. So the retaining wire is right here. That popped off with the screwdriver. And now I just pry this coil up and out of place, and hopefully the other one slips right back on. It's coming. Just don't want to force it, you know. Well, I hope that wire's long enough on the new one. Huh. It's right behind the fuel line. Let's see. Take this. Put it here. Let's see. I might have to take the fuel line out of the way. I think that's what's holding this thing in, is the main wire. You remember that wire's broken, or the insulation's gone. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. It's not like I do a lot of yelling. If anybody caught the short I did on my son's Jeep, the yoke of the rear differential literally broke. Probably because he did some off-roading or something, but I don't know why that would snap. But it's only a year old. We did a video last year of him changing the, I think we did a video changing the rear end when he first got it. So that yoke didn't last more than a year. And I'm a little surprised, but it is what it is. Come on. There we go. It's out. Let's get that spark plug boot out from behind that. There. That out from behind there. Got to remember, I got to feed that through there, and I put it back together. I might shut the video off again just to get the vacuum down there and clean it out some more. You're probably going to end up seeing this in fast motion because this is taking much longer than I want it to for video purposes, you know. You know, a smarter person would just cut this wire with the dikes and pull it out. Be done with it. I don't have my wire cutters handy. I have to go across the garage. Let me shut the camera off again. Pull that out. Alright, so I cut it and pulled it out, but then I got distracted by this little girl wearing her Peanuts PJs. I think you need to go outside? You need to go outside? Yeah? Can't go out now. It's dark and there's coyotes out there. So what do I do? You're not afraid of coyotes? Alright, hang on. I've got the coil in place. The wires run. But it just doesn't seem to be going on far enough. this isn't sticking out. It looks like it can go down another 1/4 inch, 3/16 of an inch. So I'm pushing on it, and I don't want to hit it with a hammer. I don't think. Oh, there it goes. It snapped that time. So, yeah, okay. Now I just got to get this retainer back in place. I'll probably go get the needle nose pliers to grab it and pull it. Seems I always leave a tool behind. You know what I looked into while I was researching how to do this? I guess they make solid state conversion kits for the newer style with the magnet on the outside. They didn't seem to have it for this style of condenser set. To replace the points and condenser with solid state ignition, which would have been really cool. But I guess I could have bought a new flywheel too, but I don't, you know, it's not my money to spend. What the heck? Why won't this come on here? I'm sure I'm doing something wrong here. Let's see. Just want to grab it and pull it over this coil. Maybe I got to push the coil down a little further. Yeah, I guess it can go another 1/8 of an inch. Oh yeah, look at that. But it won't stay there. I know what you're saying. That's what the retainer's for. To make it stay. Maybe it is. I don't know. This is my first attempt at a Tecumseh coil change. Ow. That sounded worse than it was. Ow. I don't want to break that retainer either. I wonder what I'm doing wrong here. Oh, that was just about there. Maybe I need to go watch the video one more time. So I got everything together. I got the flywheel on, but it's not tightened down. Got my impact here. I'm about to tighten it, and I figured, what the heck? While it's spinning, maybe I'll see some spark. Because it should spin with the spark plug off. Nope. Doesn't have enough to spin the engine. It's a nice thought, though. So what I have to do now is put the cover back on just to see if it'll spark. Right, the recoil cover. So let me put that on and go from there. So I put it together, gave it a couple pulls, more than a couple. No spark, and it sounds, something's rattling, it sounds like. So I'm going to take it apart and see if I can spot something I did wrong. Well, that's what I suspected. The clip holding the coil on didn't stay, which probably means the coil's got to get pressed on a little further. So I'm going to push on that a little bit more, see what happens. So to me, the coil didn't look like it was sitting quite right. So what I really looked at it good, and this piece back here seemed to be pushing it up. So what I ended up doing is filing it down so this could slide past that piece. Then it went on a little further, real easily. I didn't have to squeeze it or anything. And then the retaining ring or loop went right on it and locked in place. So I'm going to move forward and try this again. So with the coil in place and the flywheel back on, I still got no spark. So I went ahead and put the new points in and I gapped them, but I didn't change the timing at all. I figured the timing's got to be right if it ran for him last year and nobody's moved it. So I'm just going to leave that the same. But new points, filed the tips, set the gap to 20. Try it again. So I went back to troubleshooting and I'm looking at these points. They appear to be closed, but get no continuity going through them. So I'm going to have to clean them up a little bit, maybe with some emery or something, even though they're brand new. And I did sand them before I put them in. They're not closing. or not making contact. What was that? Oh, that was me hitting the ground. You can see I'm starting to put it back together. So what I ended up doing is putting the original points back in, but I filed them real good. And when I put those in, I would get in the continuity test beeper beeping. I couldn't get it with the new points. So check this out. I don't know, the camera's probably shaking, but I am getting spark. You see that light, or I can see the light. So now I got to put the whole thing back together again, and I got to take that cover off one more time and put the kill switch wire on and check the kill switch, make sure that's working properly. Just to close out this video, once I got it back together, it started with one pull, and it ran for about 15 seconds, and it just stopped, and it's not sparking again. So I must have left the wire loose under there. Maybe the flywheel hit it and broke it or something, but I'm going to start troubleshooting it again in the morning. But I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'm going to call it a semi-win, because I'm sure I could fix whatever's wrong with it tomorrow. If not, there'll be a whole new video of part 2. Thanks for watching.